Do you remember that exact moment? When you first looked in the mirror wearing something you were explicitly told wasn't meant for you, and for the very first time, you actually saw yourself? It is absolute magic. But honestly, it's usually followed about 5 minutes later by sheer, utter panic. You start wondering, how on earth am I going to afford a whole new wardrobe? How do I even figure out my size in this section of the store? And wait, do I need to buy expensive makeup now? If you are nodding your head right now, trust me, you are so not alone. Welcome back to My Life, My Rules. I am so incredibly glad you're here today, exploring your presentation through crossdressing, whether you are gender non-conforming, exploring your trans identity, a drag artist in the making, or just someone who genuinely loves breaking the binary, is such a beautiful, liberating journey. But here is the thing they don't tell you. It can also be remarkably expensive, completely overwhelming, and filled with a lot of trial and error. I look back at my early days and oh my gosh, the money I wasted on things that didn't fit, makeup that made me look like a slightly damp clown, and shoes that literally felt like medieval torture devices. It's a lot. So today, I want to sit down with you and share the ultimate hindsight advice. This is everything I wish someone had pulled me aside and told me before I started crossdressing, just to save you some time, a whole lot of money, and maybe a few tears. Listen to me very closely on this first one. Forget the sizes on the tags. Forget them. Sizing across different brands is practically a fictional concept anyway, but when you are buying clothes designed for a body type you might not perfectly align with, it becomes a complete nightmare. Do not guess your size. Do not just size up or size down and hope for the best. The very first thing you need to do, before you buy a single dress, suit, pair of heels, or binder, is go buy a soft, flexible measuring tape. They cost about $2. You need to measure your chest, your waist, your hips, your shoulders, and your inseam. Write those numbers down in your phone. Every single online store has a sizing chart buried somewhere on the page. Use your actual measurements against that specific chart every single time you buy something. This one step, honestly, will save you hundreds of dollars in return shipping fees and the heartbreaking disappointment of excitedly opening a package only to find out you can't even get it past your shoulders. Now, once you have your measurements, you are going to feel this overwhelming urge to go online and buy a massive haul. You'll want the ball gown, the leather jacket, the dramatic thigh-high boots. Please, take a deep breath and step away from the online cart. When you are just starting out, your style is going to evolve rapidly. What you think you want to wear on day 1 is rarely what actually makes you feel the most comfortable by day 30. So start small and start cheap. Thrift stores are going to become your absolute best friend. Not only is it environmentally friendly, but thrifting allows you to try on a huge variety of styles, fabrics, and cuts without emptying your bank account. You can buy 5 different styles of jeans or skirts for the price of one new one. Figure out what silhouettes actually flatter your shape and make you feel good. Build a foundation of basics first. A good pair of everyday pants, a comfortable neutral top, simple undergarments that fit well. You do not need a sequined corset for your first Tuesday exploring your gender expression at home. Build the foundation first and add the glamour later. And speaking of glamour, let's talk about shoes for a second. If you are buying footwear, especially heels or structured formal shoes, you have to be so careful. Our feet are built differently, and throwing yourself into a cheap, poorly constructed pair of stilettos or tight Oxfords because they were on sale is a one-way ticket to Blister City. Pay attention to the width. A lot of people assigned male at birth have wider feet, so looking for brands that specifically offer wide fits will save you so much pain. And please, if you are wearing heels for the first time, do not start with a 6-inch stiletto. It is completely okay to start with a block heel, a low wedge, or a chunky boot. You will look so much more confident walking naturally in a 2-inch boot than you will stumbling like a newborn giraffe in stilettos. Comfort breeds confidence, and confidence is the best thing you can possibly wear. Moving on to the face. If makeup is part of your journey, welcome to the most intimidating aisle in the drugstore. The beauty industry wants you to believe that you need a $70 foundation and a $50 eyeshadow palette to look presentable. That is a lie. When you are a beginner, you are going to mess up. Your eyeliner will be crooked, your foundation might be the wrong shade, and you will probably overdo the blush. That is a completely normal rite of passage. So, do not practice with luxury products. Brands like ELF, NYX, Wet n Wild, and Milani are incredibly affordable, highly pigmented, and absolutely perfect for learning. Here is my favorite secret tip for practicing makeup. Do it right before you take a shower at night. There is absolutely zero pressure. You aren't rushing to go anywhere, nobody is going to see it if you mess up, and if it looks terrible, you just wash it right off in the shower. Takes all the anxiety out of the learning process. And honestly, invest in a good makeup remover or a cleansing balm. Scrubbing your face with regular soap is going to wreck your skin. If you are looking into wigs, the same rule applies. Start affordable but learn how to style. You don't need a $400 human hair lace front right out of the gate. You can find fantastic synthetic wigs online for $30 to $50. The trick to making a cheap wig look good isn't the wig itself. It's what you do with it. Buy a little bottle of dry shampoo to spray on the hair to take away that plastic, shiny look. Pluck the part slightly so it looks more like a natural scalp, and always wear a good wig cap to keep your natural hair flat. You'd be amazed at what a little bit of plucking and some dry shampoo can do to a $30 wig. But you know, beyond the clothes and the makeup, I really want to talk about the emotional side of this because it's the part that catches so many beginners off guard. There is something in our community that we often call the purge cycle. A lot of people, especially when they are keeping their cross-dressing a secret, will buy a bunch of clothes, feel incredible wearing them, and then suddenly, an immense wave of guilt, shame, or fear will wash over them. They panic, pack everything up in a trash bag, and throw it all away, vowing never to do it again. And then, 3 months later, the urge comes back, and they have to rebuy everything. It is a financially ruinous and emotionally exhausting cycle. If you have done this, please take a deep breath. You are not broken, and you are not alone. That shame you are feeling, it doesn't actually belong to you. It is placed on you by a society that is obsessed with rigid rules about gender. When you feel that panic setting in, don't throw your things away. Just put them in a box, put them in the back of the closet, and give yourself a break. Tell yourself it's okay to take a pause, but don't punish yourself by destroying the things that bring you joy. Your desires to express yourself are valid, and they aren't going anywhere, so be gentle with yourself. Also, safety has to be your #1 priority, especially when it comes to things like binding, tucking, or using body padding. Please do not use duct tape or ace bandages. Those materials do not move with your body and can cause serious, sometimes permanent physical harm. There are so many incredible community-vetted companies out there now that make safe, comfortable binders and tucking underwear. Yes, they cost a little bit more upfront, but your ribs and your internal organs are worth the investment. Always listen to your body. If something hurts, aches, or feels numb, take it off immediately. There is no outfit in the world worth damaging your beautiful body for. At the end of the day, cross-dressing and playing with your presentation should be fun. It should be an exploration of joy, a way to connect with parts of yourself that you've kept hidden, and a celebration of who you truly are. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to look back at photos from your first few months and cringe at your outfit choices, just like everybody else does. But that is part of the beautiful, messy process of becoming. Take your time, protect your peace, guard your wallet, and remember that you get to set the rules for your own life. You do not have to look perfectly passing or fit perfectly into a specific box to be entirely valid and worthy of love. I would love to hear from those of you who have been doing this for a while. What is the one piece of advice you wish you knew when you first started? Please share it down in the comments below, because your advice might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear today to feel less alone. If this video helped you at all, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button to join our amazing community here at My Life, My Rules. We talk about all things queer, real, and completely unfiltered. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be safe, be kind to yourself, and I will see you in the next video.